war. Can't even express my dismay. Underground went away, but you're supposed to be here. What's the delay? Revolutionary war, no child's play. Truth and reconciliation, no contemplation. This is for every nationality that sees a commonality of oppression and agony as we seek amnesty. For everybody, regardless of sexuality, free expression and vitality, embrace your African ancestry. We are one totality. So come here, my brother, and fight with me. Freedom! Freedom!
Freedom!
Freedom!
Freedom!
Welcome, my brother. Welcome, my sister. Mutulu Shakur. Freedom fighters, anointed healer. Dope acupuncture to relieve ya. New African, I am resurrected. No solo man, collected and protected. Self-determined with our reparations. Allegations of conspiracy, surveillance, and secrecy. Hold up, cause you might get hit with that Rico if you're feeling me. No criminality, but it's thug life to the death of me. Young or old, stick to the code. Dare to stumble, dare to struggle. Say a prayer to be humble. Prisoner of war, prolonged detention. Life in the sentence, and hope the public don't pay attention. There's no correction in this facility. Slavery enslaving me. It's an industry. Tax dollars fuel productivity. Black love, black power, black freedom. Free them. Free them. Dedicated to a leader, teacher, mastermind, and one of a kind. Mutulu Shakur. Free the land.
Free the land. All right. Up in the fire.
Mutulu Shakur, a passionate activist from an early age, devoted his life to social justice causes. He became an activist, an advocate for his blind mother. Influenced by Malcolm X, the Nation of Islam took him to see Malcolm in Harlem. His father figures were Herman Ferguson, a leader in the Republic of New Africa and a comrade of Malcolm, his spiritual father, Saladin Shakur, and the progenitor of Shakurs, and Abu Badika, the father of Professor X and from the X Clan. By his late teens, he joined the Revolutionary Action Movement, RAM, and the RNA, the Republic of New Africa. He also was a member of the Black Liberation Army.
9 members of the so-called Black Liberation Army were indicted in New York today for a series of attacks on policemen. The charges against them include murder, assault, and robbery.
The FBI said today it has uncovered a terror conspiracy, a conspiracy involving all the major underground leftist organizations in the United States. The FBI revelation apparently prompted by a series of recent shootouts with members of the Weathermen and the Black Liberation Army groups. The Bureau has now ordered a nationwide hunt for 4 fugitives it described as extremely dangerous.
They will kill people to attain their ends. And what are their ends? Their ultimate ends have to be the overthrow of a democratic government as we know it to be.
At one point considered by the FBI to be the most dangerous terrorist group in America, the Black Liberation Army occupies a controversial place in the struggle for black power. However, the actions of the BLA cannot be understood in isolation. They must be located within the broader context of several hundred years of violent racial oppression and black resistance. In the most literal sense, the precursor to the Black Liberation Army was the Revolutionary Action Movement. Formed in 1962 by Donald Freeman, Wanda Marshall, and Ahmed Muhammad, RAM combined Maoism with revolutionary black nationalism. RAM took inspiration from other communist and nationalist struggles, namely the Chinese and Cuban revolutions. Following the teachings of Chairman Mao Zedong, RAM leaders believed the only pathway to black liberation was a violent revolution or a protracted people's war. By 1967, RAM had begun organizing the black urban subproletariat into a paramilitary force called the Black Guards. The Black Guards were a proto-guerrilla formation, engaging in clashes with police forces and operating primarily as a defense army. At its peak, RAM had thousands organized into a black nationalist army, with 1,000 units in Cleveland alone. RAM understood that in order for its militancy to be truly effective, it had to be connected to a broader above-ground political organization. In fact, before the assassination of Malcolm X, RAM was planning to function as the underground counterpart to Malcolm's Organization of Afro-American Unity. The downfall of RAM occurred in 1969 as a combination of intense governmental repression, leadership disputes, and the growth of other black nationalist groups such as the Black Panthers forced RAM to dissolve. Many members joined the Black Panther Party or the Republic of New Africa, and much of the remaining organizational infrastructure was absorbed by the Republic of New Africa. The Black Liberation Army is often officially recognized as being formed in 1970, but an exact date is hard to determine since the BLA was never a centralized organization, but was instead a decentralized network of various cadres and organizers. Following much of the same strategy and ideology of the Revolutionary Action Movement, the BLA was never meant to be its own unique political entity.
Still, before he turned 20, Mutulu was involved in what's now called the New Bethel incident in Detroit. In April 1969, the police interrupted and attacked a Republic of New Africa convention held in the New Bethel Church. To show you how strongly he felt about the movement and the RNA, Mutulu Shakur, working the security, shielded Baba Ferguson and his wife from the bullet. Drugs introduced to black and brown communities, acts of war, takeover of Lincoln Hospital, acupuncture as a form of detox, Comrade Mutulu salute.
Growing up in the South Bronx, when the heroin epidemic really hit strong, I got used to seeing the addicts. At one point, there were 100,000 addicts in New York. So I wanted to do something.
It was the Black Panthers and the Young Lords. They actually were the first ones to bring acupuncture to the South Bronx.
They tried the acupuncture and they saw that it did take the edge off. And so they kept on coming every single day.
Corporate doctors at that time saw everything that we were doing as a threat.
And we got the people who we detox and the community involved in political work. So they all became activists. So we became an issue in the South Bronx and a threat to the establishment.
Trying to tell you. We were calling for free quality health care for all. That was the bottom line for all of this.
I think it's important to realize that the pioneers are always the ones targeted as the fools and the naysayers and all the rest.
7 people from the radical underground were indicted.
We were living in a revolutionary period.
Mutulu was a target of the government, no question. Progression. Brink's armored car robbery caused a suppression. Evaded for 4 years. Railroaded for 60. Innocent political prisoner.
This is Mutulu Shakur calling from Atlanta Federal Penitentiary for DJ Ryan in Toronto. Please keep reading the book about Tupac and stiff resistance, and keep your pride in the path and pride in the struggle straight ahead.
But what does it mean? Because Parker has to be more than just an acronym. We need to have a plan. I mean, this is a brilliant opportunity to bring together the revolutionaries and the gang communities under a code of conduct. And you can unite them.
We got to create a movement.